All right. Welcome back to the PRAYpare podcast. Ladies and gentlemen, I am your host slash big brother, Bernard Ruffin, and I want to welcome you once again to the podcast. I thank you guys for so much of your support. I thank you guys for downloading and subscribing to my YouTube channel at PRAYpare. I thank you guys for just offering me support throughout all of this. It's been a grand journey. I have enjoyed it. And now I am back with my brother from another mother, George. He is here today with us to talk about I Do Again and boundaries. Now, in the book, The B.U.I.L.D Project, which you can get on Amazon and directly from my website at PRAYpare.com, we talked about getting married again and setting boundaries for that second time around. So ladies and gentlemen, please help me welcome my guest, Mr. George. It is a pleasure to have you here, sir. I thank you so much for taking the time out to do this with me.
Appreciate
and we'll
you,
talk about I Do Again. Thanks for coming.
Appreciate you, sir.
All right.
Before we get started, I just want to say, it's Anthony is one of those people that when he says he's gonna do something, he does it.
Yeah.
So Anthony said, "Gee, I'm finna write a book." Wrote a book. "Gee, I'm finna start a podcast." Podcast is here. So you meet people that say, "I'm gonna do this, I'm gonna do that." They never do it. You're not one of those people.
I appreciate that, bro. I really do.
All right.
I want my word to be my bond. You remember back in the day, word is bond.
Gotcha.
I wanted it to be that.
Gotcha.
And I wanted people to believe me when I do say something, so they won't be like, oh, here we go again.
Right. That's what I'm talking about.
Right. So
and we all know those people.
We know those people very well.
Right.
Yeah. So we're gonna get started. Briefly, tell us a little bit about yourself.
Well, we met at work.
Yep.
Through my wife.
Yep.
I've been working at UPS for 26 years.
Man, it doesn't seem like it's been that. I mean, I wasn't there 26 years, but
Right. Yeah, 26 long years. I'm remarried. I met you through my wife Ambrosia.
Right.
We're coming up on 7 years married in July of this year.
Congratulations.
Thank you,
I
sir.
went to their reception. Bomb. The food bomb.
Yeah, that was a nice party.
Yeah, it was a great party. They threw the best party, the best reception I probably have ever been to.
Thank you.
So you're married. You have a son.
I do. I'm a father of a 16-year-old son.
How is that?
It's cool. You love your child like no other. Sometimes they drive you to the brink of you want to pull your hair out. I don't have any hair left. But at the same time, you love them. Anybody bothers them, there's no telling what you would do for them.
Yeah, definitely. I'm a bonus dad, as you guys know. The last interview was with my bonus son, Amir. And I'm going to actually interview his wife, who's a bonus mom. So be on the lookout for that one.
Yeah.
So tell me something. So we're talking about the B.U.I.L.D Project, and the first brick in the B.U.I.L.D Project is begin with family. So what is one of your first memories of your family?
I'm going to change the question a little bit, if you don't mind.
No, I don't.
The two biggest influences in my life as far as my family, I would say, is my grandmothers, my maternal and my paternal grandmother.
Okay.
Maternal and paternal.
Mm-hmm.
My maternal grandmother, she was like, she was ride or die. Like, my grandmother, she might pop up at a house party and she heard that one of her grandchildren was in trouble, and she might show up with a pistol.
You don't have grandmas like that too much.
No. That's my maternal grandmother.
Uh-huh.
My paternal grandmother, my father's mother, I could do no wrong in her eyes. She spoiled me to death.
Really?
Yeah, spoiled me to death.
How many grandchildren did they have, you know?
My paternal grandmother, I 4.
Okay.
My maternal grandmother, that's a long. That's another podcast.
Okay,
Yeah.
I got you.
Yeah.
I got you. So you really remember your at your earliest your grandmothers,
Right.
which is so instrumental in our generation.
Right.
grandmothers, and they were different.
Right.
Yeah,
Yeah.
my maternal grandmother passed a year before I was born, and my paternal grandmother, by the time I was born, she already had a bunch of grandkids,
Right.
and I had a different type of grandma. My grandma drank, so anything would come out of her mouth. She was subject to do anything, say anything, anywhere,
Right.
you
Right.
know.
Right.
But yeah, grandmas was different back then.
Yeah. We need more of those.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
I agree. We got a few, sprinkled out.
Yeah.
But yeah, grandmas were different back then. But your mom
hmm
is a great grandma.
Well, she'll be glad to hear that.
She is. She's a great grandma.
She.
She holds the old school, but she embraces the new.
Yeah. Now I do have to get on her sometimes. Hey, mom, you're a little too nice to that grandchild.
Oh,
Yeah.
boy, yeah, I did with that with Amir and his Gigi.
Yeah. He doesn't need any more candy. He's not. He's 16. He's not a baby anymore.
It doesn't matter.
Right.
I brought my grandson some candy. He gonna eat the whole bag, mom.
Right. I gotta pay for that too.
Yeah, exactly. Yep. So, going into I do again in boundaries. Let me give you guys a little background. In the book, I talk about boundaries and instances with your significant other where it should be a note or a conversation about, okay, where do we stand if this happens? How are we to do this if this happens? And why it is so important to have boundaries in a relationship. And I'll be so candid with you guys. I learned boundaries from this guy.
Hmm.
This is why he's here today with me, because boundaries were first set that I saw with him. And I appreciate that. I want to tell you right here today, I don't know if I've ever said it, but thank you.
Well, thank you.
Because boundaries, I realized the importance of boundaries after watching you.
I appreciate that. Thank you.
So why are boundaries so important to you?
I remember a conversation with my aunt Matt. She said that some things are negotiable in a relationship, and some things are it's non-negotiable,
Okay.
and you got to stick to that. I hear a lot of times people have been married 20, 30 years, but then when you hear what they're going through or things that are happening in their relationship, it's like, okay, that should have been over a long time ago.
Right. You're absolutely right. Yeah.
Right. I mean, it's one thing to be, you know, bragging about being married 30 years, but are you happy? Yeah.
Man, my wife says that all of the time. Don't tell me about your 25 years together, your 30 years together, but you guys fight.
Yeah, you got the police at your house every week.
Every week, you
Right,
know
right,
exactly.
right,
But we still together though.
Right.
Makes no sense.
Not for me.
I agree. I agree 100%.
Not having it. No.
So, within within that topic of boundaries, how early on did you have that conversation with your current wife?
Actually, like the first conversation she had with me,
Oh, really?
the first non-negotiable for her was cheating.
Mm.
That's a no-go for her.
Mm-hmm.
So actually, she set boundaries for me.
Okay.
With the first boundary, and after that we continue to set boundaries. But actually, the first one was set by her.
Oh, really? I didn't know that. That's cool. That's cool.
Yeah. And then what you require of me, what your partner requires of you, you have to require of them.
Mm-hmm.
Whatever that is.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
All
So.
relationships are different. So whatever is a non-negotiable for you all,
Mm-hmm.
it goes both ways.
Okay. That's a good point. So, what are some boundaries that you think need to be addressed in a new relationship?
Like I said, I think it just depends on what's most important to you.
Okay.
Every relationship is different.
Yeah, you're right.
Right. So we live in a day and age where people are kind of more open than they used to be.
Yeah, you're right.
In relationships. So
Yeah.
what's cheating to me may not be cheating to someone else.
True.
You understand what I'm saying? So,
True.
So everybody's different, but You have to figure out what those are
Mm-hmm.
and have those conversations, and whatever that is.
Mm-hmm. You're right. You're right. Now, in having that conversation, what if something comes up that the other party is not so keen on? Do you kind of table it for a while so that the emotions don't get in the way, or do you brush it to the side? Because in my previous relationship, boundaries weren't set,
Okay.
and for I don't think we ever talked about it initially.
Mm-hmm.
And then if it did come up, or when it did come up that particular time, it was some differences in opinion, which
Okay.
I did not know at the time. And as a result of that, led to the dissolution of my previous marriage. I'm remarried as well, and we talked about in my new relationship now. We talked about boundaries the first week.
Mm-hmm.
But what do you do, or what do you how would you handle uh, a boundary discussion that the other party may not agree with everything you're saying?
It depends on if that's negotiable or non-negotiable.
Okay.
So if it's a non-negotiable, we can't table that. If it's negotiable, we can table it and discuss it later on. But if it's, I see a lot of people, and I talk to a lot of people that, I mean, they are totally lost in their relationship.
Right. Right.
Like they let so much go that they don't even know themselves anymore. Like they can't look themselves in the mirror anymore.
Right. Right.
Like, but if it's non-negotiable, you gotta say that's non-negotiable and be willing to walk away if necessary.
That's what I was waiting on you to say, because that's how I feel too. And we get into these relationships so many times, and everything's great, and then the quote unquote hard conversations have to come up. But by this time, some people feel like they're so invested in it, then they kind of overlook that.
Yeah, you gotta have them early too. That conversation you
Right.
gotta have. I mean, if you're in it, you're in it. But it'd be the best. The best option is to have those conversations early.
Exactly. Exactly. I agree. And to our listeners, have that conversation early. If you're entering into a new relationship, have that conversation about boundaries. Have that conversation about what I want and what I don't want. Make sure that you know what you want, what you're looking for, what you don't want, and what boundaries are important to you. Because, like he said, you have your negotiables and your non-negotiables, and it could be a make or break situation.
Yeah.
And if it's a break, you got to be willing to break.
Willing to walk away. Yeah.
Yeah.
You can't forgo what's important to you.
Right. And so many people do.
You gotta love yourself.
Yes, I
Got to
agree.
love yourself.
I agree. I agree. Now, kind of transitioning, and we'll, guys, this will probably be an ongoing conversation. I hope he comes back because we have so much to talk about. But kind of transitioning now into your current marriage versus your previous marriage. Uh, what were some changes that you realized before this current marriage that you needed to make?
Like I said earlier, like my wife she teaches me a lot. One thing that she taught me early on in our relationship, coming from my previous relationship, was how to disagree without going for the neck.
So you ready for the jugular, huh?
Coming from what I came from, I'm ready to. Okay, let's go.
Mm.
My wife, my current wife, now she told me, hey, we don't have to argue like that.
Okay.
Let's find a fair way to argue.
Oh yeah.
You
Yeah.
understand what I'm saying?
Yeah. A fair way to argue.
Fair way to argue.
Y'all remember that? I'm going to remember that. A fair way to
We
argue.
are still teammates in this, so we don't see eye to eye right now. Let's just work through it. Let's not go out of bounds with it.
Okay, that's good.
Right.
That's good. That's real good. And I'm glad that So how and you were receptive to that, I.
Man, yeah. I love her. I want to keep her.
Right.
So I'm willing to do that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Good. Good. how to what you say, fight fair?
Fight fair.
Yeah.
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 That's good. That's good. And disagreements come up in a relationship. And
They are going to come up.
yeah, they're going to come up. And if you're not careful, what you experienced in the past will manifest itself in that current relationship, and you'll try to act like you acted in that current relationship, like you say, unfair.
Yeah, unless you've done the work, the necessary work to correct yourself, fix
Mm-hmm.
yourself by yourself, you're gonna carry whatever you're just gonna carry that over to the next relationship unless you did the work to get rid of them, whatever the problems were in the previous relationship.
Okay.
You'll carry it over.
Yeah.
You gotta do the work on yourself.
Important.
Right.
Important. I realized that after my um marriage ended, my previous marriage ended. It was like, okay, I looked back, I prayed, PRAYpare, and I realized some of the faults with me
Mm-hmm.
that I needed to address and not take into my next relationship.
It takes two, man. Like I can't sit here and act like the other person was the complete problem in my previous relationship.
Mm-hmm.
No.
Right.
We both did things that led to the demise of our marriage.
Right. And taking ownership for your part helps you in changing for the better.
Yeah.
Because I know so many people that say, man, it wasn't my fault.
I don't want to be the same dude out in 2023 that I was in 2022.
Yeah, absolutely.
Right.
Absolutely.
I'm always trying to grow and evolve.
Good. We all are. And I hope that you hold me accountable for my growth and evolution, and I'll do the same for you.
Yeah.
Because it's so important to have male counterparts who pretty much have the same vision as you and share a lot of the same goals. We can disagree,
Yeah.
but overall, I need you.
Oh man, you family. I was listening to somebody on IG, relatives and family.
Yeah.
I got relatives and then I got family. Family, they give you a certain feeling. Those people give you a feeling.
Yeah.
You give me that feeling.
I appreciate
you and
it.
your family give me that feeling. So I consider y'all family.
Man, that's who you are. That's why I said at the beginning, it's my brother.
All right.
Brother from another mother, but nonetheless, my brother.
Yes, sir.
And I appreciate you because he doesn't talk much, ladies and gentlemen, just to say, he's a quiet guy.
Yeah.
But, quiet people speak volumes, and when they speak, you listen. So every time he opens his mouth, I'm like this. Because wisdom pours out.
I appreciate that. Thank you.
And I appreciate the wisdom that you pour out and that you poured out. Got me to thinking about things differently and how to move in my next relationship. Because I really felt like God had you there to show me where I was lacking and what needed to be changed.
That's what's up, man. I'm a big fan of you and Ray. I call her Ray. I mean, y'all taking off, man.
Hey man, that's my baby. I appreciate her. She was on the first episode. You guys go back and check that out if you haven't, and we'll do another episode as well. But she has been so inspirational and important in all of this. Like you were saying how I say I'm going to do something and I get it done. She's that. Did you do it?
Yeah.
Did you do it?
Yeah.
When you gonna do it? Because I told her, I was like, I'm gonna start the podcast at the beginning of the year. She was like, why? What is the beginning of the year gonna do?
Right.
Like, actually nothing, but it sounded good and it gave me a little bit more time. She was like, nah.
Yeah.
So I was like, you know what? You're right.
I watched episode 1. It was not a date. I'm scoring points, man. I'm scoring points. Happy.
That's what you're doing. You trying to score points, huh?
Yeah. I always side with the women.
Really?
Yeah.
Man, listen. You know the story. How you say it's not a date?
Not a date.
You sticking with that?
Sticking with that.
All right. Well, dang, I think she up 3-2 now.
Yeah. She gonna win.
Oh man, this my brother now. This how you do me.
It is what it is.
Now, and talking about that, the first time I brought Radiance around anybody was at their house.
Yeah.
It was a fight party.
Mm-hmm.
And she was oblivious to
We all knew, but she didn't know.
She did not know.
Yeah.
And I'm thinking she at least had an idea. Nothing.
No.
Nothing. But you guys.
You wasn't clear.
I made myself clear shortly thereafter, though.
Oh yeah, you did. Once you made yourself clear, you was moving.
Yeah, yeah. Once I get started, I'm gone.
Yeah.
So, your current marriage now, and you say it's going on 7 years.
7 years.
How is that, or what's something that's different about this one versus the previous one, if you can think of anything?
I think it's that old cliche, like you're gonna get out what you put in.
Mm-hmm.
I think we are intentional.
Right. Ray's favorite word.
Right. We are intentional about putting in the work.
Okay.
And what we put in, we'll get out.
Yeah.
So we just work. It's not what people make it out to be. A lot of people want to get married, and I think they want to get they like the image of
oh
marriage.
Yeah.
They don't understand. It's a lot of work.
Yeah, you got to work.
You got to work, and you get out. You get results from that work.
Right. Like, I mean, it's like, if you go to a job and you put in the hours, you get your pay, or if you own your own business, you put in the work, you get your pay. But if you don't put in the work, you get nothing.
Get nothing.
Yeah.
Get nothing.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. My difference is communication.
Okay.
My previous marriage, we didn't communicate well. My current marriage, Radiance, asks a million questions. No stone is left unturned.
Yeah.
And I appreciate that because she is very intentional, but it creates this space between us that we feel with love.
Okay.
And with that love comes, I mean, we talk about everything. And prior to us getting married, we talked about boundaries.
Mm-hmm.
We talked about bonus parenting and how that would look and how we plan to work all of that out. And that's a quick question I have for you. How has your son adapted to this?
Before I get to that, can I tell a funny story? Like,
yeah. Oh, you signed with Ray on this one too?
No.
Okay.
No. What you were talking about, questions, like my wife she's really intentional about knowing everything about me.
Yes.
Right. So I get up and go to work at like 2:30 in the morning, and I'm getting dressed and ready for work. Nobody's up but me, so I try to make as little noise as possible.
Yep.
But I wasn't feeling the best that morning, and my wife is, in my mind, I'm thinking she's asleep, but she rolls up out of bed. What's wrong? And I'm thinking, like, how in the world does she know something is wrong with me?
Oh,
I haven't said a word.
Right. I know what you mean.
Right. So she's very intentional about knowing everything about me.
Mm-hmm.
She knows when something's wrong with me, and I have to be honest, I have to work more on getting to that level.
Oh, well, yeah. We'll do it together because I'm down here.
All right.
I am down here because my wife is the same way. She'll go, "What's wrong?" Nothing. No, your face don't look right.
Right.
I'm reading something and something might have caught me off guard, or no, what's going on?
Right.
And then you got to open up.
Right.
That's difficult.
Yeah. I was gonna say, like, you talk about being a leader in the house, and it's hard coming from the area that we came from. It's hard to find that balance between being a leader and being vulnerable.
Yes.
Yeah.
Ooh, that's a good one.
Yeah.
That's a good point.
Yeah.
I have difficulty with that to this day.
Yeah. And it's not without merit, because I guess as men, black men, we feel like if I express too much, I'll be looked at in a certain light
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
with my spouse.
Mm-hmm. You're right.
Yeah.
And getting to the point where at least two people we can be vulnerable with, God and our spouse.
Yeah.
And I am slowly coming to terms with expressing myself the first go round. Cause I ain't nothing wrong. I do that 3 rounds.
Yeah.
I'm good.
Yeah.
And then but she won't stop because she already knows. She's like, no,
Right.
what's going on?
Right.
I'm good. Okay.
Right. Yeah, and I catch her doing that too. Sometimes she'll say I'm okay, and then she'll come to me, you know,
Mm-hmm.
a couple hours later with what the problem was.
Mm-hmm.
So it's something we both got to work on.
But hey, you guys are working.
Yeah.
Yeah. And but not my wife though.
Yeah.
If it's bothering, now she will take time to do what she calls process.
Mm-hmm.
So she'll get quiet.
Okay.
I'm like, uh-oh. Then I'm replaying the day, replaying what I said, what I did, what I didn't do.
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, okay, I think I'm clear. I think I'm straight. Now let me ask the question. What's wrong? Nothing. No, you quiet. And Amir and I have told her on several occasions, if she's quiet, the house isn't right.
Right. Yeah.
Like, no, Amir go, Mom, what's wrong?
Mm-hmm.
Nothing. No.
Yeah, that's something I learned too. Like my wife would tell me, I had to learn when I come in the house. Like everyone's my son and my wife, they feed off of me.
Mm-hmm.
So if I come in, I'm down, the house is down.
That's how it is over here with her.
If I come in the house and I'm up, everybody else is up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's how it is with her over here.
Okay.
She's the life of the party. And we join in.
Yeah.
She always has the stories. She always has the funny movements. She has the pulse in this house, and you have the pulse in your house.
In the house now, my wife is the social. She's a social person outside the house.
That's my little homie.
Yeah.
Outside, then her and I take over.
Yeah.
And they sit back and they don't say much, and her and I clown and laugh and looking crazy.
Right.
And they just, George and my wife are sitting there like,
yeah, we gotta watch y'all. Make sure y'all all right. somebody gotta get us home.
Yeah, me and the little homie.
Yeah.
So I really appreciate some nuggets that you dropped today, you guys. I hope you were taking notes. If not, look back at the replay because my brother dropped some gems over here, and it was a good show. So coming up on the end of this one, but not the end of this will be a series probably. Okay. All right. So now we're down to our last question, and I'll let you go. But what is a piece of advice for our listeners that you learned or experienced?
I think the biggest piece of advice that I could give somebody when one relationship is ended or a marriage is ended and you're entering into a new relationship or a new marriage is the new person is not the old person.
Mm.
Give that new person a chance.
Mm.
Don't play old things back in your head. Oh, that you just reminded me of my old person.
Ooh.
Oh man, I'm
Ooh.
out. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Because I do that. I mean, to be honest,
Mm-hmm.
I have to work through that.
Okay.
Still working through that.
Okay.
The new person is not the old person.
So
give the new relationship a chance.
Good. That's good. Because so many times we carry that weight. Yeah, we do carry that weight, and before we know it, subconsciously we'll revert back to that old thinking, almost like we in this old relationship again.
If you've been hurt in the past, you're gonna carry that with you,
Mm-hmm.
and if something triggers you,
Mm-hmm.
you're gonna think about that, like, oh man, that reminds me of such and such. You gotta let that go.
Man, you about to start a whole new podcast because that goes into that hurt and it developing into something that goes beyond where you currently are in that relationship, and not only relationships with spouses but with friends
Yeah.
and family.
Yeah. it's a death really. You know
Yeah.
what I'm saying? It's a death. Like, and you got to give yourself in the best case scenario, you give yourself time to heal from that relationship before you
Mm-hmm.
move on to another relationship. A lot of times we don't do that. I'm one of those people. I tend to move from relationship to relationship in my past, but if you can give yourself enough time to heal from that previous relationship, that'll help you all in the new relationship.
Yeah. Yeah. And briefly, that's probably with you saying that is one of the reasons, especially black men, myself included. I know I'm black, but um, where we don't open up
Yeah,
like we should or can.
yeah. You can. People shame you for that.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they try to shame you for that. I know coming from that being our age,
Yeah.
growing up when we grew up, you might get shamed for that.
Yeah.
You gotta be tough,
Mm-hmm.
especially in some of our environments that we grew up in. Can't show no vulnerability at all.
At all, no emotions.
And you trying to survive.
Right. Right. And we carry that into our relationships.
Yeah.
Yeah. So just give that other person a
Give
chance.
the other person a chance. They are not the old person. Start with a clean slate.
Y'all hear that? Give that person a chance. They are not the old person. All right?
All right.
Cool. So, with that being said, we'll be out of here then.
All right. Yes, sir.
So, hey, thank you guys for joining us. This is my brother George. An inspiration to my wife and I. We enjoy the time that we spent together. We actually celebrated New Year's together.
We did. We did.
And we had a great time.
Great time. Simple, but we had a great time.
Yeah, we had a great time. We set off fireworks.
Went out to eat.
Went out to eat. Went to the movies.
Went to the movies.
Yeah, we had a great time. And as we get older, that's the fun stuff now.
Yeah. Just keep it light, keep it simple,
Mm-hmm.
keep your circle small.
Right, with the people you love.
Yeah. My circle getting smaller and smaller, but it's all good.
Hey, you don't need a big circle. You just need a real circle.
Real circle. That's it.
That's it. Your village.
That's it, and that's all.
Yeah, you're right. So, guys, thank you for joining us. Hey, make sure you hit that subscribe button on YouTube. Follow me at PRAYpare and the number 1 on IG and Twitter. And make sure you pick up a copy of the B.U.I.L.D project so it goes into more detail about boundaries and I do again. And that's just in the first brick. Begin with family. There are 4 other bricks that we'll go through throughout the time that you spend with us. So I thank you guys for tuning in. Hey, you guys make sure you have a great day, a great week, and make sure that you pray about it and prepare for it. This is your host / big brother, Bernard Ruffin, signing off with my brother George. Hey, have a great day. Peace.